Hey guys, Spartan107 here. I've been chasing after homeworks and I've been trying to get it done, so I'm kind of been neglecting my channel, but I want to thank the 20 new followers and all the support. So I kind of want to make this video a little higher quality than the last, just a little bit, not too much. We got to keep the trend going up and up and up with more followers as I get, so you know how that works. But in this video specifically, I want to touch upon like the lack of Halo games and other good media other than just books and other good media. I'm referring directly to the Halo TV show. And I want to present some ideas of how Halo can move forward as a franchise. So please join my growing army and subscribe. And if you would also be so kind to like the video, it genuinely makes my day. It's kind of like OnlyFans, except for it's not gross and it's also free. So, in recent years, there's been a lack of Halo video games being produced. This is excluding the Halo Fireteam Raven arcade game because it's an arcade game, not really a video game. The last iteration of Halo before Halo Infinite was Halo Wars 2, and that being an RTS game, it didn't have the same popularity that something an FPS shooter would have, such as Halo 5, which had in 2016. So, however, I also want to add upon this, I've been recently a bit late to this party. I did record this on my stream reacting to Halo Follower, but recently an X343 developer stated on Twitter that Microsoft was actively denying Halo spin-off games. The former developer stated that they had pitched 20 to 30 games, and one of them was a Helljumpers game that was very similar to Helldivers 2. So I know I'm very critical of this huge content creator, Halo follower, and I do genuinely believe he's a 343 Industries hater and he's a Bungie stan, but I know he can't accept Halo's changing, but this is technically a W for 343 Industries. I know you're probably going like, well, why? This is an L for all of Halo and as a whole. I'm only saying it's a W for 343 Industries because it's showing that 343 Industries is still coming up with ideas and still coming up with games that they want to produce. However, I will argue that it is an L for Halo and an L for gamers around the world. Just the main issue and concern is that Microsoft denied these games, and that is very alarming. With the lack of other video game content coming from Xbox, such as Gears of War, the thinning amount of Forza, and Halo games in recent years, really does set off alarm bells for Microsoft as a company and a gaming industry. You see, back in 2007, in the prime Halo years, being around 2007 to 2012, there were a total of 6 games released in this period of time. Halo 4, Halo Wars, Halo Reach, Halo 3 ODST, Halo 4, and also if you want to count Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. However, after Halo 4's release in 2012, 2 years later would be the next iteration of Halo, and it would just be basically a remaster of Halo 2, and a culmination of all the other games, and it was very poorly done, and this would start the steep decline of Halo going into Halo 5 a couple of years later in 2016. The multiplayer was unfinished, the campaign sucks, and nobody liked it, nobody enjoyed it, but they did fix the multiplayer, and I do genuinely believe this Halo 5 multiplayer is one of the best multiplayers Halo has ever had, and Halo Infinite would be in the same boat if they actually put a little bit more care into what they're doing. But after Halo 5, there was a 2-year gap for Halo 2, and again, this one wasn't really fully produced by 343 Industries either, which means that there was a 3-year gap for a video game, but unfortunately, for a mainline Halo game, it was nearly 5 years until Halo Infinite released. Almost 6, because it released in November, right? So, and I know, time flies very fast, but it's been 3 years since Halo Infinite was released, which is crazy to think about that. It's been 3 years since Halo Infinite was released, and I mean, it will be in November of this year, but seeing that there were about 20 to 30 games rejected sends alarm bells to me that the next Halo game that's going to be released is going to be a mainline game, and it won't release till 2025 or 2026. Now, one thing that people aren't mentioning is the reason why Microsoft isn't funding and allowing these games to be produced and to go forward. My main theory is that they're using their money to spend on buying other game companies and pushing their Game Pass system, as Xbox recently stated on Twitter that now I believe that they aren't going to be a console creating company that creates consoles for games, but rather a game company that also makes consoles on the side. What this essentially means is that Microsoft is transitioning Xbox to be like Epic Games or Steam. I'd probably argue Steam a little bit more because they have the Steam Deck. But essentially, Xbox will be using its Game Pass system to create a membership-type Steam-inspired app that allows you to play games based on a membership. And if you want to buy a console from them, you can. but it's not necessary to play them. Now, the reason why I'm getting alarm bells from this is because Halo could be greater than what it is, and it's getting a lot of flack from haters and critics online because 343 Industries is apparently not handling the franchise correctly, and when all the decisions that Halo fans dislike, including microtransactions, and just the fact that the games and the art style decisions are all kind of done by Microsoft and not really 343 Industries themselves, this creates an issue because people will go on the streets, they'll call on the streets, and they'll be like, they need 343 Industries to stop producing Halo. Microsoft needs to find somebody else to do it for them. However, it's just going to end up being the same situation where Microsoft is just going to cock Halo and Halo fans, and they're going to just blame the new developers, just like they're doing with 343 Industries right now. And personally, my major issue with the Halo TV show is that it isn't Halo at all. It uses the Halo IP, Halo characters, changes the characters a little bit, and I mean, a lot of the characters are really unnecessary changes, and it actually ruins the characters as a whole. And then when they make their own story with the Halo characters and everything, and make a Halo TV show sound like a Halo fanfic that you'd find on Wattpad. And yes, the kid that is writing this Halo TV show does not know how to spell. Now, of course, this next segment of the video is going to probably sound like a 12-year-old or an 8-year-old kid's Wattpad story on the internet, but here are some ideas that I'd really like to see go through with the Halo franchise as a whole, but not just with the game, but also with movies and TV series. So, idea number one is a very basic idea, but it's an ODST-based shooter game, so you can easily just do several games following the idea of Alpha 9, or following an unnamed ODST squad, and you can create the full squad and characters yourselves, so you don't have to ruin existing characters, just like how they did with Fireteam Raven. Just please don't make it an arcade game. Make it a TV show or a video game that everyone can get access to and play repeatedly over and over and over again. However, the idea is that if it's a TV show, season 1 follows the squad coming into the UNSC, season 2 follows the squad fighting the Covenant and possibly even the first casualty of the squad, and then season 3 follows the squad on a suicide mission against the Covenant, slowly being picked off by them, kind of creating the idea of high hopes at the beginning and then tragedy in the end. Kind of Shakespearean. Yes, my English work was on Shakespeare, so yes, my brain was churning while I was writing the script, okay? Don't get on my ass for this, okay? But I do think this would be an interesting idea with a portrayal of this high hopes and tragedy, and I think it could easily be a game as well, but instead of there being seasons, it's just one full game. I wouldn't make a whole series off of a off-brand, or not really off-brand, but an offshoot of Halo, right? Now, another idea I think would be cool is following a group of Spartan 4s during the events of the Created and the events of Halo Infinite, and kind of have that area where they don't really have games right now, or any content for that matter. The idea behind this is that Master Chief and the UNSC Infinity are on Zeta Halo. Cortana died on Zeta Halo. Spoiler alert for Halo Infinite, but it's been out for 3 years. You should have already played it by now. But the rest of the galaxy doesn't really know what's going on, and I doubt they even know that Cortana's dead. So I'd like to see the idea of a group of Spartan 4s, and we can actually go into depth on how badass Spartan 4s can be, and also do it in a way where they're trying to avoid the Created, and then they kind of see how the Created leave after Cortana disappears and dies, and how they still act like Cortana's around even though she's not. And I'd like to see this idea go a little step further, and even could follow Fireteam Majestic or Fireteam Crimson, which is my favorite Fireteam because, it was just you and Spartan Ops. But I'd also like the idea that if one of these two teams are on Zeta Halo itself, and this could be a Halo Infinite DLC following these squads doing something, I don't know, fighting the Banished on the ring. I think it'd be a really cool idea, but whatever. Now, my favorite Halo idea. This is one that I always think about in my head all the time that I think would be extremely profitable. And obviously, you can't trust directors with this type of shit because they're just going to fuck it up. So, my $1 million Halo idea is very similar to Marvel's and just general all of Hollywood in general. But that's because Halo has a lot of books, and we see a lot of books get made into movies. Why don't we make the books into movies? But we can make the mainline Halo games also into movies to make it more digestible for new fans or people. This is where it kind of comes closer to Marvel, because if Halo pops off and actually is really, really good on the big screen. And it's just the regular story we know, but even more badass with more badass little scenes, like scenes with Master Chief. I think that'd be fucking awesome. And I also think that it could, if it's written right, it could become like the Transformers, the Marvel, the Star Wars. Those are the big three of the, and I'm going to say this in quotations, the nerdy movies that became extremely popular with people that aren't nerdy, right? Like Transformers, I fucking love the Transformers movies. I think they're awesome, but I'm not a Transformers fan, not an obsessive over it. I think the Star Wars is amazing. I am a Star Wars fan, and I think Marvel is amazing, and everybody's watched Marvel, okay? Everybody's watched Marvel. So I genuinely think if Halo kind of recreates their games into movies, just kind of like how Star Wars has it, so like the Bungie era of Halo is the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy type thing in Star Wars, and then in between all these games or all these movies being turned into or games turned into movies. Holy shit, my brain doesn't work anymore. I think it would be a really good idea to have some of the books transitioned into movies as well, such as the Forerunner trilogy or saga, if you want to call it that, or the Ghosts of Onyx book, the Ferret trilogies, and I mean, just be real, all the books, right? If they do that, I think that would be actually fucking amazing. Kind of like a thing how they do in Rogue One, where it's not a part of New Hope, but it's separate. I think something like that would be really, really cool. And honestly, a really cool idea is if Halo has a subscription service on Xbox so that you can watch the Halo movies through Game Pass. So Game Pass isn't just specifically games, but you can also watch movies like a subscription service like Netflix or Disney Plus, but have, Halo Nightfall on it, Halo Fall Forward Unto Dawn on it, although Forward Unto Dawn was a collection of a bunch of smaller videos, something like that, right? Because the only good places where that I know of to actually watch these shows are off of pirating websites and YouTube itself. And I think that kind of sucks. And the Halo TV show is not worth a Paramount Plus subscription. Just so you guys know, don't watch it. It sucks. Sucks balls. Don't watch it. Um, but yeah, those are my ideas. Leave some ideas in the comments below of what you would like to see Halo create. That would be pretty cool. I'd love to see your guys' ideas. And let me know, do you think 343 Industries can make Halo great again? Or do you think that Microsoft is just going to cuck them so hard that it just kills the franchise? Let me know. Love you guys. Peace out. Make sure to subscribe. I know if you guys got to this point, you should definitely like and subscribe. And love the feedback of the videos as well. Anyways, guys, love you one time. Peace.